Welcome to today's episode. We have an exciting guest. His name is Mike Burns. He's the Chief Operating Officer at 7 to 7 Dental. The company's mission is to provide dentistry 7 days a week. They believe in a great care that starts with great convenience. That's why they open 7 days a week with extended hours to fit your busy schedule. From cleaning to specialty services to orthodontics, they're your one-stop shop to complete dental care in a friendly, judgment-free, and comfortable setting. So there's no waiting, no hassle, just convenient care when you need it. For those of you who are just joining the podcast, we're IQ Consulting, and we specialize in helping any business scale their revenues in the next 12 months. So if you want to learn how to take your business to the next level, just stick around. And if you're interested in a growth consultation, just drop the word growth into the DMs. So Mike, today we're going to explore your business model, where you are today, where you want to go, and what's blocking you. Sound good?
Sounds right.
The first question I want to ask you is, how did your company start? And what was the initial problem that you set out to solve?
Well, so we kicked off 17 years ago. I've been with the company coming up on 14 years. So the whole model behind it was customer service, right? We say we're a customer service organization. We just happen to do dentistry. So the founder and CEO, Justin Koch, his background was in restaurants, server. He had a friend that was in dentistry. He was like, I think we can do this better, because he'd experienced what we've all experienced. Anytime you go to your medical provider, be it dental, medical, whatever, you almost feel like you're a nuisance to the person's day when you walk in. You come to the front desk and they ask, can I help you? And you're like, well, yes, I'm here for my appointment. So there's a level of customer service that was missing in dentistry. The big thing with that was, the fact that you even mentioned what we are 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 7 to 7, and weekends. Even though our name just says 7 to 7, even our patients still don't realize we're open 7 days a week. So that level of convenience was what we thought would set us apart from everyone else. We were just waiting for every other dental practice to jump on board and do the same thing, and we've not seen it yet. So started out one location. I came on board when we had second location. I knew of the company since its inception. My background, I did 22 years in the Coast Guard. So it was in leadership, developing others, mostly law enforcement. But Justin knew that I liked dealing with people and I liked building things. So I came on board, found a bunch of needs, found that there needed to be a little bit of structure. So I created the human resources department, payroll, all that. And then by the time we hit 100 employees, I had to hand some of those things off. And then here we are now. We have 11 locations.
Wow.
And we've got about 4 on the horizon this year. When I came on board, we had about 20 employees. We have about 340 now. And we're slated with our 11 locations. I think we're probably going to do anywhere from 48 to 50 million in revenue this year.
That is impressive, Mike. What has been the trigger for this growth driver this past year, you think?
Well, we had private equity come on board 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
So we'd always been organically growing, right? We had a new office every about a year and a half. And then we got to a point where if we wanted to get to our big time goal, we needed some outside help. So now we've got a little bit of assistance there, and we get to determine where do we want to go, what place makes the most sense, underserved areas, and let's put the locations in there. We look for rooftops. We look for dual income houses that have insurance, where people work. That's where we want to be, because yanking kids out of school and missing work doesn't seem super appealing. So they can come in after hours, they can come in on our weekends, and it's worked out really well so far.
Very nice. And so far, are you only in Texas, or are you kind of looking at expanding to other states as well?
So we're always looking. I think it's been the de novo model. We find an area, build there, and kind of build it the way we want it. But to grow the way that we want to grow, we're going to need some acquisitions. We have a couple offices in mind right now. We don't want to acquire somebody that is super traditional, because going in there and trying to keep that team and trying to do that and switch it up to a 7-day-a-week model or an after-hours model can be very difficult. So we have some relationships with some doctors that are kind of ready to make the move, and they do a lot of what we do, same kind of culture and same kind of hours. So that would be how we would move out of state. So we would already have some type of leadership built in there. And because spreading out that leadership is the hardest part, right? You want
That's
to keep that
true.
culture there the best you can. And so all of our leaders, all of our managers and general managers, they're not from the outside. They're homegrown from within.
Okay. And as far as, how do you find those leaders?
Well, most of our leaders have been with us as far as my management team goes, minimum probably 5 to 6 years, many of them over 10 years.
Oh,
They
I see.
started out as dental assistants. They started
Oh.
out in our billing department, treatment coordinators, and they just, we saw that they were impactful. They kind of bought into what we were doing, and now they're managers in our company, and they get to preach what we've been preaching from day one. The big thing for, I think, our number one thing that keeps people here is opportunities. Right? So you hear that culture all the time. Culture, culture. It's a buzzword, right? And culture is a two-way street. You can provide a culture, but people have to actually feed into that culture as well. But one thing I would always tell new employees, and Justin and I, CEO, we sit in on every new employee orientation to talk with them,
Mhm.
say, this is what you're kind of coming into. This is a little story about us. I would tell every new employee, and this is from early on, I truly believe it now more than ever, that this is a great place for a job and it's a great place for a career. There's two different things, especially in
Mhm.
dentistry, right? You have many young assistants that maybe their spouse is in the military, and we're in San Antonio, Texas, so military city, USA.
Mhm.
And they'll come on board and they're like, I'm going to be here for 2, 3 years. And we're like, that's fantastic. Let's take care of each other for those 3 years and then move on. And so that's a job. And then you've got people that have been here for 15, 16 years. And some are assistants and some are managers, and they found their way. They know where they want to be in the company, and they're making a career out of it. And in dentistry, from my encounters talking throughout the nation, dealing with different DSOs and organizations, many dental assistants and people in dentistry outside of doctors and some hygienists, I don't think they view it as a career. I think they view
Mhm.
it as just a job. And I think they've been beat down a whole lot to know that they're only going to get to this level and that's it. And we provide something different than that. We provide levels of growth, levels, upward mobility. And I think that that's one of the reasons that we're able to cultivate that leadership and make people hungry and want to do more.
Yeah, it sounds like a fantastic business model. You could actually go into franchising, right?
I think we could. It's very challenging though in dentistry to try to tell people that have never done it that patients actually want to be seen on Saturdays and Sundays. That has been the biggest hurdle. Early on, I would hear doctors tell me, um, yeah, well, where we're at, nobody would come in on the weekends. And I'm like, well, I just think you don't want to work on them.
Right.
And when we ask our doctors to work on the weekends, you have to understand our weekdays are 12-hour days. Our weekends are 8-hour days. Nobody's working 7 days a week. Most of our doctors are working anywhere from 3.5 days a week. So they got that work-life balance, right? They got weekdays
Mhm.
off, they got a weekend off. And our Saturdays are our most profitable day, hands down.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're absolutely crazy because that's when most people are off and they want to come in, they want to get stuff taken care of, and they can get the kids in, get the whole family in on the same day. And the goal is to get them in, get all their dental work taken care of early on. And then we just see these patients for the rest of their lives twice a year. Let their insurance pay all that.
Yeah.
They don't pay anything out of pocket. And that's our model. So
Yeah, that sounds great. That's another buzzword, right? Work-life balance, and you're giving it to your clinicians, so that's important. So, if you could look at one operational bottleneck, what would that be right now?
well, I'll tell you, our eyes have been opened a lot with private equity coming in, right?
Mm.
They kind of made us grow up real quick. They made us look at some stuff that we didn't look at. We were on a path to try to grow revenue at all costs, right? It's like, let's just open more opportunities, get more patients in, right? And to do it the right way, to properly take care of the patients, you need more bodies, right? So, and at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I could increase our revenue by this much, our production, but our profitability doesn't do that. It all just kind of levels out. And if you don't keep a really good eye on things, your profitability starts dropping. But while you're doing this, your staff is totally stressed out. Your managers are going nuts because you're trying to do all that stuff. So really what we're looking at now is how to be much more efficient and effective with what we
Mhm.
do, right?
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Number one thing is the patient care, right? So we see, I know our Travis DeZun is our director of marketing, is phenomenal. He gave us some numbers the other day. He said Since our inception of this company, we've seen X amount of patients. And if you look at San Antonio, we've seen 10% of San Antonio at our locations, right? So yeah, we want to see as many patients as we can, but we need to do that the right way. And if you just keep shoving people through the door and adding staff to make that happen, that's a really, really good way to self-destruct because you can't maintain that.
Mhm, mhm.
So I think the biggest hurdle now is how do we maintain a solid level of growth with keeping profitability in mind? And I tell my staff, like, profitability can be a gross word to them, but we all know it's just what's left over, right? And that's what's going to pay
Mm,
for the next location and, fixing the air conditioning and all that. But our
mhm.
profit has to be there. So I think the biggest hurdle is outside of just trying to maintain a healthy work environment, keeping that profitability there, is navigating the insurances.
Yeah, yeah. Healthcare is a very complex environment, right? So, how are you thinking about scaling and adapting your strategy by, for example, introducing AI within the next year or two, or even right now, right? It's important
Well,
to
we've
think about
introduced it,
that. Oh, you
Jeannine.
have? Okay.
So we have, as far as our imaging goes, we use a software called Pearl. And what Pearl does is they were smart enough to call it second opinion, right? And what happens is we take our images, necessary X-rays, and Pearl is going to do an overlay on that. Pearl notices something, it's kind of off in that X-ray, it's going to put a mark on it. So the doctor looks at the X-ray the way that it was originally taken. And then they could do the Pearl overlay to be like, what do you see, Pearl? And it gives them a second opinion on what's going on there. That's been pretty powerful.
Huh?
And then we are actively moving toward utilizing AI with our insurance verification and
Mm-hmm.
billing. It's getting to a point now where the insurance verification AI is talking to an insurance company AI.
Mm-hmm.
So AI is talking to AI, and uh, once we could start implementing that, I think that's going to allow us to grow freely to where we don't need to get rid of anybody on our team, but I don't need to add anybody as I'm adding locations, right? So we know
Exactly.
centralized location here. I have 14,000 square feet where we do billing, insurance verification, and then I've got my scheduling team here. So when a patient comes into our location, I don't have somebody on the phone doing this. They can come, they can take care of the person in front of them while we're handling that here. So if I can utilize AI here in my centralized location, then every office that we add, I don't need to add one more body here. I can utilize AI to
Exactly.
really see.
Yeah. So, do you have the proper team in place to take care of your needs right now with AI?
It's really the challenge has been the actual software that we're using, and we're in the process of switching dental softwares to
Mm,
the they need to integrate it properly. Problem
yes.
now is I get about 20 emails a day from somebody claiming that they're AI. Yeah, this
Mm,
is AI this, AI that. And what we're finding is it's not really AI. It's just some type of automation. It's not really learning as it's going. We're going
that's
to be really
interesting.
cautious with jumping in on some of this stuff. I'd like to start with some scheduling, having an
Mm-hmm.
actual AI agent for after hours and stuff like that. I think that would be beneficial. That way we can test it out, see what the response is. We're seeing that you can't really tell anymore as much as you could even a year ago that it's an
Mm-hmm.
AI agent.
Mm-hmm.
People were very cautious. If they knew it was AI, they'd either hang up or just hit zero or try to get someone on the
Mm-hmm.
phone.
Yeah.
So I think we'll start dabbling with that. And then it's the whole trust to verify. We'll start doing some AI insurance verification, and then I'll have my leadership team here kind of go in there, double check, make sure it's being done properly, and then
Well, so let me ask you this. Could you tell that when my campaign reached out to you, it was AI? I used
I,
AI.
yeah, how much time
So,
did that save? That
so
saves you so much time.
yes, it does. I wanted to assist you with that if you want, because it was such a turnaround for me. And I don't have time right now to go into all the details, but I'd love to share some of the opportunities that could
Sure,
open up for you if you were to jump to what I found out for myself. It's created a lot of lead generations for me too. I think that it would be beneficial for you to get on another call with me so that I can dive into the details with you.
certainly. Yeah, I mean we're
Okay.
we're always looking. I think there was a lot of caution early on because for me at least, I'm like, there's this is too good to be true. right? And then some of
It's
the people that I
amazing.
know that are using AI, their only AI is ChatGPT. I'm like, that's just scratching
No,
the surface. I'm like, the
no,
real
yeah,
AI out there is extremely powerful.
it is.
Definitely be interested.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, you don't even have to be awake to do these things because AI is doing it all in the background, and it booked my appointment with Riverside. It just kicked off and sent you the link, and it just came up on my radar. Oh, okay, Mike Burns wants to have a podcast. Perfect. Okay, so I didn't have to do any of that legwork in the background.
Yeah, I'm curious. I've gotten a couple other people have reached out, and maybe it's their AI that's reaching out. But my
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn is so I barely touch that thing. I just kind of have one created. I don't utilize it. I don't find myself out there constantly trying to see if the grass is greener because grass is typically greener over the septic tank. So
Yeah, yeah,
I like where I'm at. I love what we do, but people are like, "Oh, I found you on LinkedIn." I'm like, "That's wild," because I don't really do anything on that.
yeah.
Every now and then, I'll look at if we have a doctor come in, and I'll try to find them on there. But do you know how your AI found me?
Yes. So that's a lead generation that I've been work perfecting right now. And I'd be happy to share the details next
Yeah,
time we meet and get you on board. Hey, great episode today. Thank you so much for your time. And then I'll be sending you the podcast video in the next few days, probably next week. And then when we talk again, I'll give you what my thoughts are on how you can introduce AI in the workflows, in your email handling, all that jazz, and get you sleeping more. Thank you so much, Mike, and have a great rest of the day, okay?
you do. But
Bye.